Welcome back to Creating K-Pop / Making K-Pop, presented by In My Fields. And today we are spotlighting Korean YouTubers.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yes, we are. So I want to introduce them real quick. So we are very lucky and happy to have some of the very popular ones. Danny of DKDKTV. Hello. Hello. And Christine or Soobeanie. And we will also have GRAZY GRACE and Goto joining us later. But right now we have Danny and Christine here. So thank you guys for joining us.
Wow,
both of
some
you
big
guys.
names.
I know, right? So many big names. All thanks to Dre, obviously.
You're the godfather.
Yeah, exactly. He really is.
Too old now.
Dre, do you claim that name?
People just say it. I don't say anything, to be honest. People just say things. I'm like, I just nod.
But both of you have very different YouTube channels and brands that many can learn from. So starting off with the brand side of things, going into your YouTube channel, did you have a brand in mind or an idea of where you wanted to end up, like where you are today when you started your channel?
For me, when I first started YouTube, I really didn't have a necessary brand that I thought of initially when I was starting. Originally, I was wanting to do like sharing music, like playlists and stuff. I'm pretty sure I told Dre about this too when I was first starting YouTube, which is totally different from what I'm doing now. But I think for me, I just tried out a lot of different things, and I am where I am now. So yeah, I think that's basically me.
Okay. So the idol thought of it wasn't even like your idea at first.
For me, it was actually a lot of my friends' idea because they actually saw a lot of things I was going through when I was an idol, and they wanted me to kind of share that. And for me, being a previous idol, I was kind of scared to open up because just of the cultural, differences in the entertainment kind of policies that we had. So I was very scared, but I think my friends and people around me really gave me that push to kind of talk about it. And then as soon as I started uploading things, a lot of the people were really engaged in just the whole K-pop culture and just everything that I was talking about. So I think it kind of just worked out everything in the end. Yeah. Shout out to all the friends that told me to start.
Yes. Friends are the best support system. All right, what about you, Danny?
Well, when we were just going in, when we were starting out, we didn't really have a brand image per se.
You guys were just reacting,
minds.
kind of.
Yeah, and we majored in, I guess, some parts of video production in school. So it was like a natural thing for us to try this thing out. But once we got the ball rolling, say like 3 or 4 months in, when we thought like 10,000 subscribers, that's a big number. That's all we thought. Well, it is a big number. Honestly,
it
a
is.
big
It
number.
is.
Yeah. It's very difficult. So when we got to 10,000 subscribers, I think that's when we started to kind of picture and think of a brand. And actually at that time, we were very obsessed with, well, at least I was, very obsessed with 88 Rising. Anyway, we wanted to be like, okay, that's what I want to be. Like that was the thought in our minds, was like, I want to be eventually a platform where artists ask us to be on the channel, and
Super dope.
they pay us to be interviewed by us. That's the system that we wanted going.
Yeah.
But then I think that was the initial image that we were going for and the brand, but it kind of diverted, I guess, as we learned the realities of the K-pop industry, and also just the limits, I guess, of our abilities.
What kind of limits did you find?
Well, first of all, the K-pop industry, it's not as big as people think. It's like very few companies, very few artists have the ability to actually like pay something, an actual like feasible amount of money to be interviewed by you, and that amount is not that great. It's like there's a very small portion of people that are willing to pay for interviews.
Okay.
So like that entire system of, okay, we'll be the channel that you guys come on to promote yourselves. It's not it's a very small market. That's what we realized. So you can't be too famous, because if you're too famous, you don't need to come on our channel.
Okay.
But you can't be too small, because then you don't have any money.
Right.
So that sweet spot is very, very slim.
Yeah, I've dealt with that too. For me being paid to interview or do a collab, I think it only happened like a very few times.
Wow.
And it was like, it was, for me, it was super last minute too. It was like, oh, this amount. I'm like, all right, let's go. Like, that was my experience.
So it's like not as a lucrative market as people think.
See, I didn't think they were paying at all to go on channels. Like, I didn't know that. I thought it was just like media exposure and like.
There's some.
No, like Dingo, they pay a lot of money. Dingo is the most.
Oh, so they they pay to have? I didn't know that. I thought it was.
Yeah, they do.
Reverse.
And it's pretty big amounts of money, like tens of thousands.
Wow.
But Dingo's a company, so.
Dingo's a company. They're not DKDKTV.
They're not just one person.
They're not some random ass Korean dudes.
No, it's true. That's the thing about like YouTube. I think it's going a different way.
Yeah.
I could get another topic like that where it's just YouTube's catering to like more companies than actual the creator.
Oh yeah, that's a whole topic on its own.
And does that affect the algorithm that you guys, have to deal with, or no? Like how they're breaking you all apart in terms of creator or network?
For sure, favoritism.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think I'm a little different because I don't necessarily have like a straight on interview. I'll just kind of call over my friends and then I'll just be like, hey, let's eat. And then I'll ask them like, I'll just ask them a couple questions and stuff. So.
Wow, you finessed your friends.
Ooh, you know. I think I try to take a more natural approach to it. But yeah, I think that's just my way of going with it. If they're down to, hang out, because I feel like a lot of people like that aspect too of having things somewhat more just like natural in a way too. So maybe that's just the way I go with my direction. But yeah.
This usually is the best way, but I feel like it takes the longest way instead of like contract company thing. Like we're doing this, we understand each other, but
yeah,
natural way is usually pretty good too. Yeah. All right. So what is the best way to venture into new territories that are not usually your voice or your brand? That's like, that's off brand. Have you done that before? Or tried to?
For me, I have tried to do things that are off-branded. For me, I was never really into like beauty or anything, but I realized that, a lot of the K culture has beauty in it too, especially for being like, a female on YouTube. And I realized a lot of people are like, oh, what's your skincare routine? And I was like, I didn't start to tell my skincare routine, but okay, I'll be open with it. So I think that for me, it was a little bit hard to kind of try out different things, but I was open to the idea. And I think that as long as you're not afraid to kind of open out and be open about it, that's just a good way to start too. Yeah.
Do you find that there's any, when you, like, I've seen you do like the, winter hauls or like, these pair of Jordans I got here, like, do you find any pushback when you do like, things like that are off brand from like what people are normally, or what catches the most amount of views on your channel?
That is a constant struggle that I am currently having on my channel, is because there are things that I like to film and there are things that the audience wants. So for me, I personally like to film like videos of fashion videos or like hauls, and I realize that people who come to my channel are wanting things about K-pop. So I try to kind of intertwine those two, like a K-pop, I don't know, haul, which is the best way I can get, what I want to deliver and then what the audience wants as well.
Yeah. And Danny, I feel like you've been sort of leaning in more of what, your voice has been over the years from, DKDKTV and you guys having these, sometimes maybe controversial opinions, and now you have your own segment called You're Not Gonna Like Me, or You're Not Gonna Like This sort of thing.
That's probably gonna end soon.
Why?
Because it's not getting views. See, that's the thing. Like,
okay.
We do a lot of experimentation. We're not really ever afraid of trying new stuff, new series, and new content. That's not the typical things we do. But at the same time, when it doesn't do well, we are very quick to end it.
To end it, right? You don't even give it a push?
No, I mean, we try like maybe like 4 or 5 videos,
Okay.
weekly maybe.
Okay.
But the
sense.
thing is, like, I think the great thing about YouTube is you can be very agile, and you talked about, how bigger companies are favored over smaller creators, and I think, one of the pros of being a individual, like a small creator, is that you can move fast, like you can change up your content very fast. Not a lot of people are going to care about it, so you can be very agile. You can start up new series or new content just like that as soon as you get the idea, and then once it does well, you can continue it. Once it doesn't do well, then you can just end it like that. No one's going to care. So so I think that's the one of the things that we have been pretty good at, is just trying a lot of different things and then seeing what sticks. So I think, like, for example, we're right now kind of transitioning into a lot of K-drama content.
Okay.
Because we've been trying that, and that seems to have an audience that we did not expect. So.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be a lot of K-drama, like, YouTubers or whatever. It's because it gets copyrighted, right? Like, immediately.
We can't use the footages there, but we just talk about it. Yeah.
What about new territories, like different platforms? Have you ever tried different platforms? Or
Yes, we have, but I haven't found much success on different platforms, honestly. I think the thing is, if you want to try out different platforms, you have to really study that platform and cater your content towards it, right? And we can't be just like expecting the same type of content to be, good on Instagram as well as on YouTube. It just doesn't work that way, and it takes a lot of effort to reformat and stuff like that. So it's not just simple as we upload and see what happens.
For me, I feel like my YouTube is very sit down, and it's sometimes hard to kind of see my actual personality. So for me, I did try to venture off into doing TikTok and be more just kind of open and just kind of showing a different side of me, because I feel like sometimes through YouTube you could show your personality, but the type of content that I was necessarily doing was like kind of sit down type of content. So for me, I just kind of try to have fun with it, like either that's on like Instagram Live or like TikTok. I try to kind of engage in a different way than I do on YouTube.
I was thinking about it, and Dre, you can answer this question too. When you have like, you guys are going through different like phases of things that you think that might work as a series, and let's say it doesn't work, and like how people will curate their Instagram feed to look a certain way. Do you ever go back and think about it, like for your YouTube, like I want my YouTube, I don't want these videos from like 6 or maybe even a year ago to be up there, because it doesn't fit with what I want my like brand or aesthetic to be, even though you might have worked really hard on it?
not really organized. I mean, that's what's called just random every day. My Instagram is not aesthetically pleasing. My YouTube is just a mess. I think that's my brand.
Okay. just
do whatever.
I think for me, originally my Instagram wasn't really like aesthetic, but I feel like the people around me, everyone's like, you gotta care about your Instagram, and I'm like, oh no. And then they're teaching me all these like editing apps, and they're like, you can't do your thumbnails that way, it has to look like this. And I was like, okay, I get it. I'm still learning, but I feel like I'm trying to follow along.
It helps.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
There are definitely videos that I want to delete.
Same.
The reason why I'm not deleting them is because I'm afraid that it'll hurt the algorithm. That's the only reason, honestly.
If you delete videos, it hurts the algorithm?
I don't know. Like the algorithm is like freaking
changing all the time.
It's changing all the time. No one knows what it is.
No one tells you.
So everybody's scared that they'll upset the algorithm. It's like so I think everybody's scared that whatever they do, it'll hurt their algorithm. So we just tend not to like mess with what's not broken. Yeah.
I see. Interesting. Yeah. Huh. With creating your brand and voice, sometimes you can play on the safer side and, you know, not say anything negative about a group or about yourself or, you know, your past. And sometimes it's better for, even for business and views, to be controversial and more revealing. In your case, sometimes, Christine, what do you feel about that? Like, is it better to be controversial? Is it better to be more revealing? Or is it, you know, for your personal, like, mental health of not revealing too much? Like, what makes the most sense for you?
I think I'm half and half on that. I don't make a video to put down somebody, but I will be open about it and be truthful, but also respecting whatever I'm talking about, especially if it was like a person or like a group, or either that's my company. I do try to still be respectful, but say things that I felt personally. And I think that for me, I don't necessarily try to like put it down, but I do think that sometimes the titles or like just the type of content it might be very like exposing or like, you know, that type of vibe. But I mean, I think that I try to kind of find a balance to it and not be like overly negative about it, because I'm not just making the videos to be negative. I want to kind of inform people on certain matters of K-pop as well. So I think I just try to find a good balance.
Have you found that like some of your friends or, you know, or idol friends currently or formerly idol friends like have come to you and been like, hey, like, why are you putting this out there? Or like, hey, like, thanks for putting this out there.
Yeah, a lot of my friends were like, oh my god, it felt so good for you to kind of been saying that, because I totally feel you, and they can't speak out on those type of matters. I'm not in a company now, so I am able to. But a lot of my friends are also worried because they feel like sometimes I might be just saying things that are too exposing. Like, because to be honest, I feel like a lot of things are kept in secret, and some people think that it should be that way, some people think that it should be exposed. So I think that people who think that it should be that way might find my videos to be too revealing, but I think that for the most majority part, a lot of my friends as well like that I come forward with it.
I think we're never really like controversial for the sake of being controversial. Like, we don't really decide on, okay, I'm gonna like stir up some shit, but we do know when we're like filming, like, okay, this is gonna stir up some shit, but we're never going in with the intention of like, I want to stir up some shit. It's more like it's just the nature of, you know, us being us. And I think, you know, you can either take, you know, being controversial route or the other, being safe, but the important thing is, I think you have to be consistent with your personality. That's I think the biggest factor. So if you want to be controversial, that's fine, but you have to continue on with your beliefs. And
why is it better to be consistent?
Because if you change up, you're hypocritical.
Right, you're hypocritical. And also, if people have initially subscribed to you because you're controversial, then that's what they like you for. Even if don't try to please everybody. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you're never gonna please everybody. So just think of the people that view you as the people that really matter to you. And I think the rest of the people, like, even if they hate you, if you chose to be controversial, then you know, you are what you are. Don't try to be like, oh, well, sorry, I'm sorry, and shit like that. We have this YouTuber. What's her name? Shirley's. What's? She's very controversial.
She does exposed videos, right?
Yeah. And she actually called us out too. But I totally respect her because I used to hate her because she called us out for being a cult or something. I don't know, but anyway, which is not true, by the way. But I totally respect her for her being her. She's a very consistent character. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're clicking on a Charlize Mo video, you know what you're getting into. Right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just like when you click a JRE video, he's gonna be doing some body rolls. You know?
Right, exactly. So being consistent with your character is the most important thing.
He's consistent with that character.
I think either way, being controversial or non-controversial, I've seen both sides where both YouTubers are either or been successful. So you could choose either or if you want. But yes, controversy does get views. Anyway.
Yeah.
Basically, production / skit versus being first, aka quality versus quantity. Which do you prefer? I mean, it's a age-old question of YouTube.
Which do you prefer, Dre?
I mean, I've said it before, of course. I think in the beginning I was very quantity, being first. Then over time I just started becoming, let's make it more quality with edits. And now I'm just like, let me just take my time on this, because I feel like it'll make me feel better. It's more about me.
Yeah, I went through a different phase. So in the beginning of YouTube, I was quantity over quality, and then at a certain point, like year 1, 2, 3, I was way more quality over quantity, and then now I don't care.
Oh,
so I only care to a certain point. So like the law of diminishing returns, right? So like if you spend a lot of time on quality, yes, the video will get better, but there comes a point where the time you spend isn't gonna give you the returns in an effective manner where you're using your time efficiently. Like, this one little, I don't know, 0.5 seconds of a certain cut not being perfect is not gonna affect the number of people watching your videos or liking them. So I used to be really, obsessed with every single detail of my video. And, I used to spend a lot of time fine-tuning stuff. But then I came to realize, like, that shit doesn't matter on YouTube. People aren't looking for perfect videos. They're looking for fun videos. So I realized, okay, that's not an effective way to use my time. So I kind of let things go a lot now and just focus on what is this video trying to say and what am I trying to show. And if that's okay, then I don't care about the many details.
For me, I would say quality. Well, I usually just upload once or twice a week, so I wouldn't say I necessarily really care on the quantity part. But for me, I would rather wish it becomes the opposite, from actually like quality to quantity, where I could actually produce stuff more naturally, because I feel like a lot of my stuff are very sit down, where I kind of engage with my subscribers and we're talking about a certain topic. But I feel like I wish I could kind of venture out into doing a lot more different things where I could just upload frequently as well. So I think I'm kind of like the opposite, but I still am wanting to put out more quality content than the quantity for now. Yeah.
I mean, you can always find a balance, but that's the hard part.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find a balance.
I don't think anyone's really, unless, I don't know. Depends. Unless you have a whole editing team.
If I had a whole editing team, I would just be like filming a bunch of stuff.
For sure.
Exactly.
We were just able to get like an editor for the video part of our podcast, and it made everything so much
easier.
Dre, I don't know how you've done it without an editor for like this long.
I like editing, but there comes to a point where I couldn't just edit this podcast, so I'm like, we need to hire somebody.
I do not like editing that much.
Okay. So, all right, but
wait, Christine, what other content would you like to come out with?
Oh, I am actually thinking about maybe opening a different channel for just Korean content. So like me speaking in Korean, because I realized I was thinking about doing it on the same channel, but I thought that it would get a little bit too messy, because the people who are following me now are almost 95% overseas. So I don't have a following base in Korea, although I'm located in Korea. So that is another big challenge for me, which is kind of wanting to grow a base here as well, since I am located here. So I'm planning on kind of venturing out to, doing videos that are spoken in Korean, and also different things that people here might like as well.
In terms of being a YouTuber in Korea, I think David once told me, like, the reason why he's getting a degree is because his mother doesn't think that, YouTube is a legitimate career, and it's almost like looked down upon, not because it's like, oh, this isn't like a real career path, but it's almost like people who do YouTube there are like weird. Yes, like they do odd things on YouTube, not how you would assume it to be. Like, does that still hold true?
Yeah, I think like it's not like a. People think YouTubers make a lot of money.
Okay.
So there's a difference in that, but they still think like YouTubers are cancer in society.
Oh. What? Oh, is that bad?
Literally every single week, some YouTuber does some terrible shit and gets exposed. And honestly, like that's not a fair way to, you know, generalize the entire YouTube community. But at the same time, like this is a new form of media, and people are getting exposed to this bad news. And like all media, like TV stations, newspapers, they hate YouTube because they're getting their audience taken away from them. So they really like it when this shit happens. They love to expose that shit. So it gets really big, you know, like blown out of proportion. So a lot of bad news from YouTube on YouTubers, and I think that's really giving YouTube a terrible rep.
I feel like, Christine, you don't feel the same.
Yeah, I think that for me, I don't know. I've been actually seeing there's a lot of people doing YouTube in Korea, more than you guys can imagine. Yeah. Like so many people. I feel like every time I'm meeting up with either that's my Korean friends or Korean American friends, they want to start YouTube because I feel like trends in Korea change so fast, but there was a time around like, I don't know, a couple months ago, I would say like 8-9 months, where everybody was doing YouTube, and it was to a point where it became so saturated, which I think is the reason why there are people making contents that are kind of like, you know, like controversial or bad, or like it's seen in a bad light, because there's so much content that there's also going to be bad content as well. But I think that a lot of people in Korea are doing YouTube, and that's good, but I feel like it's a very saturated market. It just started to, like, within this year, I think that it's kind of dying down now, but a lot of people have been, you know, venturing out. Either that's companies or like single YouTubers, people who do 2-time jobs. Everyone's trying to get on the grind. So.
Like when people say I'm gonna do YouTube, like I'm gonna become a YouTuber, very rarely do they actually become a YouTuber. Like they.
It's like a hobby.
It's like saying, oh, I'm gonna be an Instagram model, and then posting like 2 pictures of myself shirtless, and that's it. Like that's not an Instagram model. You posted 2 pictures of yourself shirtless. So like what a lot of people are doing when they say they do YouTube is they post like 2 or 3 videos that they share with their friends, and then that's gonna be it. So I think we gotta think of YouTube as this Instagram-like platform with more steps, I guess.
Is there like a YouTube in Korea, like a spokesperson for like that everybody thinks of? Like, you know, like in America, there's like the big time YouTubers that everybody thinks of, and
PewDiePie?
The UK, yeah, like that.
Yeah. But like the YouTube.
Because that kind of attracts the people, like, oh, you could be like PewDiePie, or you could be like so-and-so, you could be like that.
Definitely. There's people like Pony.
Yeah, like, okay, Pony, yeah.
Yeah, for like makeup, or like, you know, like Hopop, he tries different things, like experimental things, and I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, he's so crazy, I want to try doing things too, and then, you know, maybe venture out to that. But
Christine, are your majority of your viewers are international, like outside of Korea, correct?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Correct.
Is there a certain, you know, way that you plan on curating, obviously besides, you know, speaking in Korean for your potential new channel, like content wise, you know, that would differentiate from what you would do on your current channel right now?
Yes, I kind of want to do things that are a little bit less kind of like in like less not scripted, but like I want it to be more organic and free. So I kind of want to, like, you know, we're in Corona right now, but I wanted to kind of like go out and, like, you know, do different things where I could film. I like shoes, so I kind of wanted to like go out and film people and be like, oh, like, what shoes are you wearing? Like, let me tell you about it, and like, you know, kind of showing what people in Korea wear, or like kind of wanted to just be a little bit more free, because I feel like in my channel right now I'm a little bit just
sit downs.
sit downs and stuff. So kind of wanted to vlog and just be me and have that channel really flourish into just, showing me as a person. Okay. Yeah.
How far in advance are you both planning out your content? For like the month, or is it like the week, or is it kind of like...
We used to do monthly, but then that never really, we never really stuck to that schedule because things change all the time. So we do weekly now. We just plan a week ahead. Yeah.
Okay. What about you,
Yeah, for me too. I do weekly as well.
Okay. Dre, how do you plan normally? Like...
I just go with the flow.
You just go with the flow. Okay.
Sometimes I work my ass off, and sometimes I have like just boring days. So yeah, just random every day. I literally made it so I don't have a schedule.
Not beholden to anybody.
What a good name.
That is a good name.
I love that though.
It works out. I mean, some days I just freaking work my ass off, and then other days I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna chill. So I have no schedule.
I feel like, Dre, one thing you do really well is, or you said that you don't do, is you don't like to do interviews on your channel. Like, you like to do more fun things. And Christine, you were saying you like to do, more sit down conversational things, obviously with your friends. And then Danny, you guys sometimes have like guests on, but it's normally just you guys. Do you prefer interviews like this, or do you prefer like, obviously you guys already said like more conversational things, but
I like interviews. I think our dynamic between just the two of us, it's kind of getting old now. With me and David. I mean, I'm not shitting on him. Like, I'm just saying, like, you've seen the same two people like freaking in 600 videos. It's boring now. That's why we're hiring. We actually hired 2 new people.
Nice.
To be on our videos now. So our future is that we appear in less videos and new people appear more in
makes sense.
Oh, speaking of though, it reminds me of how the government sponsors YouTube in a way.
Oh yeah.
Y'all's studio is completely free, and you guys have like all the equipment and stuff like that, right?
Yes, it's all free.
Wow.
It's like an official program under government, so you can apply to it. The government has this program where it's like an incubator program for startups, but startups being YouTubers. So they provide like facilities, cameras, studio space for free. It's all for free.
It's beautiful.
No strings attached. So we've been part of that program since its beginning.
That's great.
What, do you have to just be Korean?
It's helped us greatly. Sorry?
You just have to be Korean, right?
No, you don't have to be Korean, actually. There's a lot of non-Korean people there, too.
Wow, that's crazy. And how long has that been around?
3 years.
Oh, wow.
So that was one of the reasons why I thought of this as a legitimate career, is because we have very little cost going out with, equipment and, studio space being free.
Okay.
So all we have to do is improve ourselves.
That doesn't exist in the U.S., does it?
Kind of.
It does?
Yeah, they have the YouTube studios.
Yeah. Right.
But you're on a list and you're a waiting list because there's so many freaking YouTubers in the U.S.
Right.
All right, going back to the interviews or not, should it feel natural? I mean, we kind of went on over this a little bit, but
I want them to cry. Actually, that's my.
Jesus.
So I have a lot of guests on my radio show, and every single interview, I try to make them cry, in a good way. Like them. So I prepare like this special fan message that I gather from like voicemail from fans, and then I cut them up and like edit them so that, it's like under 2 minutes, and then I present to them, and like they almost always cry, and that makes me feel like.
Wow.
That makes me feel like, okay, I've done a good interview. I've made this person's day. So that's what I want. Like, I don't want what's your next album about? Oh, it's about love. Like that. I don't want that bullshit. I want some human element to it. And I want them to come out of that interview feeling like, okay, I've earned, like, this is not just like a promotion thing. It made me feel good. I want that.
Okay.
But it's difficult with a lot of interviews to have that element because companies will be so restrictive with what you do. So like in a sense, I do want new people, and I want like guests to come on our channel. But when they're only there to promote themselves and they don't allow us any freedom, then I have very little interest in doing that interview. So which is why we used to do a lot of interviews with K-pop idols like a year or two back. But then we kind of stopped really doing them and caring about them because we realized that they don't give a shit, and neither does the company. And I don't blame them because they do interviews all the time, so it's obviously they don't give a shit. We're just another YouTube channel for them. But like that made me kind of like not really want to do it anymore. It's very it's very one-sided.
What about you, Christine?
I think for me, haven't really interviewed people that I don't know, so I think that for me it just happens to come out in a natural way. But in the future, if I were to interview somebody that I wouldn't know, I would want it to be in more of a carefree matter, either that we're like, you know, vlogging and doing something, or like we're out eating and then like we can kind of just ask questions here and there, is the direction that I would want to go into, I guess, if I were to film an interview. Because I feel like they have to feel comfortable for them to be able to, you know, talk about certain things too. So
no, that makes sense. Like in my past collabs, I felt like it was more better to make them at least comfortable. And I choose like more natural because the interview, I kind of just like let's like do something fun instead. Because I knew myself, I know my interviewing is not my strong suit, so I knew that. Even though I still try, I was like, nah, let's just have fun, relax, calm down, and hopefully they express themselves differently, like you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the audience gets to see kind of like a different side, or like you know, of their personality as well. So I think that kind of works out.
But I think that's also like on me too. Like it's not solely their fault. Like I guess they don't want to open up to me. I guess that kind of tells.
Maybe they open up to me.
Like they don't trust me and shit like that. So I guess I do have some fault in that too.
No, I was saying, well, kind of off of that, how like the energy matters a lot, or like the actual chemistry that you have with your interviewee like matters. Because
in past interviews, whether it be artist, idol, whatever, I try to bring in energy first, and if they don't give it back, I know this interview or collab is gonna be bad. If I go under like yo, and they go like yo, I'm like, all right, we're gonna be good. But if they come in like, hey, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a tough one right here.
When is this gonna end?
It's like I still try to bring that energy, but it doesn't give it back to me. I'm like, all right, I tried.
My very first interview was like that, and I was so intimidated.
Can you name drop which one?
They're disbanded now. They were a very big group once, but their company fucked them over.
Okay.
A typical K-pop story.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should you read every comment? Let's say it's out for an hour. Do you go through all the comments?
I do.
I read like the first maybe 3 or 4 hours worth of comments. Yeah.
I try my best to comment back as soon as the video is uploaded, when I have time to, and I try to do that for like a good 30 minutes to an hour, trying to respond back if I can. And then if it's like a question and it happens to come out like, you know, a couple hours after, I'll try to maybe go back into it and answer if it is a question that they want to know. But yeah, I think for the most part, I think I read most of the comments.
Wow. Okay, so let's say I guess you get notifications if you get a new comment, even if it's on like a video from like over a year ago, correct?
Turn mine's off, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine, because he gets a lot, right?
I still answer videos from 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes.
Really?
From 5 years ago.
Damn, man.
Wow, okay, I'm going to go to a video from 5 years ago and drop down a comment.
Yeah. So you try to respond to the first 30 minutes, you said. And Danny, you said first 3 to 4 hours?
Yeah, I just
give or take.
I just respond with hearts and maybe a few comments here and there.
Like.
Give the illusion of interaction.
Of course, being honest.
I give give the illusion of interaction, but I think so. Here's the thing: as somebody who's had his fair worth of shit thrown at him,
of course,
I think the thing with YouTube comments is the first hour or two, you don't really know how good this video is, because the people that watch your videos in the first hour or two, they're your subscribers, they're your fans, so they're gonna like whatever you put out. They're very loyal. So I try to look at those comments because I want to, you know, continue our relationship as fans and YouTuber. So I try to respond to a lot of those comments, and then like the hour 3 or 4 commenters, they're the real people. they're the real general public.
Okay.
So by that time, you'll know if this video is good or not. And
interesting.
Yeah, and then I check maybe like, you know, a day or two later. But the thing is, like, we upload so many videos that it's not very easy to keep up with all these comments.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you respond to hate comments?
I used to a lot. I actually used to only respond to hate comments.
Yeah, it makes your subscribers feel
I
like
used to
shit.
pin them. I used to pin them
You
so
would
that
pin
our
them? I can't.
so that our fans
Wow,
would
I can't.
attack
would see
who. It's
Wow.
like crucifixion.
Wow.
I used to be into that shit, but then I realized like, like 99% of people like me, so yeah, they can go do whatever. I don't care.
How about you, Christine? Have you had to
I
deal
don't
with
respond to hate comments at all. I don't want to even give them that energy or give them the time to even think that I was concerned, so I don't. But in the back of my head, I'm like, oh no, why did they write that? And then I would get like super sad about it. But you know, not to them. I don't respond to hate comments.
Does, I assume, interacting with the comments as many as you can helps with the algorithm, or is it like no one knows?
I don't really think it's has much effect.
Okay.
Honestly. Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
nice to have
haven't
a lot
really
of
felt
comments.
anything. Yeah.
Okay.
What I would do though is like, I used to do. We don't do this that much, but
Okay.
one tactic is post a very controversial comment, not necessarily a hate comment, but like a
Why?
very controversial opinion.
Go ahead.
And like not me, like pin, not post.
Oh,
sorry.
pin. Okay. That's what I was
That
thinking.
came out wrong. That came out wrong.
I was like,
Pin-
why?
Pin a very controversial opinion, and and then people will start interacting. Like they'll start debating and fighting each other, and that drives up the
It does. Yeah, I know what you mean.
interaction. What do you call that? What rate? Engagement rate.
Engagement. Yeah.
A lot. So we used to do that. Now I just ask, do you agree with this? So I kind of instigate the debate, but it's like less controversial opinions, more like, you know, which side are you on? And then they'll debate, and that drives up the engagement rate. I don't know if that actually has an effect on the algorithm though.
Interesting. Do you guys find any Korean, like in Hangul, like comments in your videos ever, or on your videos ever?
Yeah, I have we have like a 5% Korean audience.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow, I have like literally like 3 or 4 comments max on Korean comments.
Usually the
Yeah.
Korean comments are the hate comments. They're like, you're not Korean, you don't speak Korean.
Wow.
Like, bitch, I speak perfect Korean.
When you guys are, you know, I guess marketing yourself, you know, you market yourself on your Instagram, Twitter, you know, TikTok, like all that good stuff. You know, the traditional social media way of marketing yourself. But would you say that networking with other people is a form of marketing yourself as well?
Yes.
This is considered networking in a way.
Yeah. Is it effective? I don't know.
I mean, in my experience, I feel like it's effective.
Really?
Yeah. But
Like-
it's usually talking to like sponsors, or even at going to
Right.
KCON, just talk to everybody.
Or in terms of collaborations, I think collaborations are only effective when you already share a good amount of each other's audiences.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the only cases where
Okay.
it's actually effective.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because otherwise, if I'm like collaborating with some cooking YouTuber, like we don't have a shared audience,
it would make
and
no
they're
sense.
not gonna care after that video.
It's
So-
like me with like collabing with a K-beauty YouTuber. 'Cause
Right.
my audience would probably be
No,
interested.
Haven't you collab? Oh yeah, you have.
I have like
Okay.
2 times, I think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's been worked well, but like if I did something with some like a cooking one, that would make no sense for me too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like going on to like, let's say like a YouTuber that has like 10 million subscribers, like does that help your channel? Even though they're like, let's say they do sports, like does that help your channel?
Oh, if they have 10 million, I'm gonna
Yeah,
like
if it's
kneel
10
down.
million, yeah.
It could be like 2 titans on YouTube that have nothing to do with each other, but they're a big name on the YouTube platform. Of course, it's gonna work.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So for people who are starting out YouTube now, like let's say they might have 10 to 50,000 subscribers, is it more worth their time to create like a lot of content and just keep churning it out, or is it more worth their time to, reach out to different other YouTubers to collaborate, to network, that kind of thing?
I think you should focus more on your own content. If you do have like a good library and a good idea of what you have, a good identity on your channel, I think that's when like you're ready for collaborations to be effective. Because if you don't know what you're doing on your channel and you're collaborating with some other person, like that's not really gonna help you, because once people go over to your channel and you have like all sorts of shit, like it's people aren't gonna be interested. So be ready, like when you grab a chance to collaborate, is my tip.
I feel like for people starting off YouTube, like Danny said, definitely have your own identity. And I feel like you want people subscribing to you for you, not the people who are going to be, either collabing with you or on your channel, because I feel like it's only temporary. So for me too, when I first started off YouTube, although I knew people and that could have helped me, and they would have been willing, I wanted to kind of build it up on my own, because I felt like I wanted people subscribing for me, not for the people. And I feel like in the beginning it could definitely help you grow a following, but I think that in the long run that's not going to be good for your channel.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, there's been people that done the opposite way too, where all their friends are famous.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
And then
I guess David Dobrik's crew, you could say, is a good example.
I love David Dobrik.
Christine, I have a random question. In terms of like content creation with idols and labels and things like that, what's the best way to, get past that like wall of like, I love my fans, I do this for my fans, like the very answers that you hear all the time, questions? Like, what's the best way to do, like, to get somebody to cry, or to like, that would be approved by, management, if you...
It's the hard part.
Yeah.
That is the hard part. I think I try to answer the questions in a different way, or I open up first. So, for example, like if it's about a certain question, I'll kind of be a little bit more bold about how I would answer the question. And I'd be like, yo, you never had that type of experience? And then, they would kind of open up more, where they could be a little bit more free about it. Yeah, hopefully. But I usually tend to kind of be very open about it, and then they open up more. Or I already know the stories, that could be kind of like exposing or controversial, so I'd be like, come on, like tell us that story, remember the one that you told me? And kind of like pull it out of them. Is I think what I do.
Okay.
But if they're uncomfortable, I definitely will not put that up, but I do think that I try to make them just like tell it in a certain like fine line where they could kind of be open about it. Yeah.
Okay. What do labels prefer when collaborating?
Shoot.
If you,
Ultimate control.
Ultimate control.
Yo, nah, but when I worked with NCT for SM, they gave me full control, which was weird for me.
SM out of all companies.
And then they're probably not going to work with me ever again. But anyways.
Why do you say that?
I think it's a one deal done. I think they just gave it to me
for the entirety of SM or just NCT. Do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I don't look forward to these things. It just happens. Right. It comes to me. I just put it out there.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. I put it out there and it happens for some reason.
You did say it in one video. It was like I sent it to you. It was like you were reacting to something. You were like, I would love to work with them one day. I'm just putting it out there. And it was like 2 years.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
It was when they debuted. Yeah.
Because I know they're watching.
So
I'm like, hey,
they are.
It'd be dope to collab, and then just continue on.
Wow.
Maybe we should do that too.
Bro, you should have been doing that.
Okay.
So what do you both have coming up, like in the next few months, that people can look forward to with your channels?
For a while, I haven't had a lot of my friends be on my channel, and I'm planning to kind of have them on my channel a little bit more. Yeah, I think that for a while I kind of was venturing off to doing things my own and answering by myself, but I kind of want to have more people on my channel. Like Danny said, a little bit more diversity on the channel would be more ideal and more fun in a way, so hopefully more people to have on the channel.
We're going on vacation 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
I'll say me too.
Oh, nice.
We're giving our editor a paid vacation plus a bonus. Such a nice boss, right?
Wow.
Vacation money.
Wow.
So I think I can't stress this enough, but people, like, once they get in the YouTube grind, it's very difficult to walk away.
Oh, for sure.
I've
been there.
So I would highly advise people to take breaks.
But it's hard sometimes. But mentally, it's better.
Yeah.
To take breaks.
Yeah, it's so we're taking a 2-week break.
Nice.
From everything.
Oh wow. Do you guys have everything already like backed up?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, that's nice.
We have to.
See, that's so it's like.
So the content's coming. We're just taking a break.
The content's coming. You guys are just taking a break.
We can't take a break.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have no.
That's what I wanted to ask, because I
right.
knew, I was like, there's no way he's not going to be putting out the content.
Wow.
Also, we're expanding, so I guess that's the thing.
That's dope.
We're hiring new people.
Good for you.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a random question, and this is for all of you guys. I should have thought of this earlier, but when uploading your videos and tagging and things like that, do you guys still tag like every single thing you possibly can?
I actually copy Dre's
what?
and also Briss and formal therapies.
How do you copy people's
The
tags?
There's an extension. Google Chrome. You didn't know about this, Drew? You don't know about the
I had no idea.
Oh, he don't need to copy people's tags.
All right.
So
Well, you're Dre.
No.
You're the standard. You're the industry standard. So.
What? Wait, how do you figure out the tags?
There's a Chrome extension. It's very easy. Just go Google vidIQ. But the thing is, like, tags don't really do shit.
Exactly. So that's why I didn't answer.
Right. They don't do shit because, like,
Same.
Briss, he's like, he gets a lot of views. He doesn't put any freaking tags. He puts like 5 tags.
Huh.
He doesn't give a shit about. We used to put like 50 tags.
Jesus.
They don't do shit.
I've never put tags, to be honest.
Yeah. So
Weird.
they don't really do much. I think.
But I see why people would think it would do a lot. I was like, oh, tag this, tag that. I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like that tags are more better for like Twitter or Instagram, maybe.
Yeah. YouTube
maybe like
tags don't do
hashtags.
much. Yeah.
Or TikTok.
So I just
if you
copy
tag.
Dre's and
TikTok.
also Briss's.
And then what about like upload times? What like are there specific?
Oh, I also copy Dre's.
Bro, I don't care with my upload times. So I don't know why you copy.
Like, yo, Dre uploads at 4 a.m. Okay, I'm uploading at 4 a.m. now. But nowadays we have our own rhythm and schedule, so we know our audience. So
I just tried in the beginning. I just tried out different times and asked my viewers what times were a little bit better, because I know that they're scattered everywhere. So just kind of come to just like a good time where everyone can kind of watch the video is just my take on it. I don't really have like a set, well, usually I do now, but I kind of messed around with the times and then kind of just settled on the time.
Well, thank you guys for this interview, this little pod course that we had. Can you, just in case people don't know where to find you, can you tell people where to find you on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and that kind of thing, and TikTok?
For all of my social, it is SOOBEANIE_Soobeanie_, and yeah, you guys can find me anywhere on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. They're all the same. So yeah.
I'm DKDKTV on YouTube, and you can find other social media links there.
Wow.
Subscribe.
Wow.
YouTube is the only concentration.
Right, exactly. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys later.
Bye.
Welcome back to Creating K-Pop / Making K-Pop, presented by In My Fields. And today we are spotlighting Korean YouTubers, or aka GRAZY GRACE. What's poppin'?
Hi. Hello.
Thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to have you. I like this vibe that you have going on with the purple choker. Is that a choker?
Yeah, it's a butterfly choker, a translucent butterfly choker, and earrings and a swimsuit.
Oh, it's a swimsuit. Oh, cute.
Summer vibes.
Exactly. I was we were talking about this before you hopped on, Dre, but I was like, when did you guys first meet? And Grace said that she had reached out to you through DMs on Facebook or Instagram.
What? Did you?
Remember, I asked you for reaction video. That was the first time I ever talked to him. I didn't meet him then in person.
Oh, right. Sorry. Communicated, I should say. And you guys met at KCON?
Yes, through a mutual friend, basically. I just remember getting that email. I was in New York, and I was like, all right, why not? Then I just did it either way.
Nice.
I was on my grind that time. Now, I'm doing other things nowadays. But yeah, that's how we first electronically met. And then, at KCON we met, like, officially.
Going off on the questions that we didn't have, you said on your grind, Dre. Grace, do you feel like you are still on a grind that maybe differs from what you were doing, when you had debuted and all that stuff? Like, do you feel like the grind is still just as hard or different now that you're doing YouTube as well?
I think really social media and this whole internet thing really changed how people can honestly do music or whatever they want. I think I started out, just doing the really traditional training with the girl group, and then I did the solo, and I was in the company listening to whatever they wanted me to do. And then I got into like this whole life drama, I'll say, like lawsuits and things like that, and that really disabled me for a long time, and I really needed to find a new way to like make a living for myself. So I really went through the social media YouTube route, and that's where I am today. And I think it's so much better for someone like me. I don't know about other people, but someone like me, I think it really benefits, and I just want to live life the way I want to and make my own money and be happy instead of just being the unhappy person I was in the past.
And when you said someone like you, what do you mean by that?
Probably someone who's okay with trying to hustle their own independentness and not having like this huge company, deciding what they want, which is not always bad. Yeah. But for me personally, my personality and what I wanted in my life, it doesn't fit me anymore. Also, my age, I'm not like a 19-year-old anymore.
See, interesting.
Make your own decisions, basically.
Right. Thinking, I guess, kind of going off of that, looking at your two YouTube channels, and this is how we've kind of started the other interviews as well. Yeah. There's GRAZY GRACE and then there's GRAZY TV, right?
Oh, shit.
Well, my main channel is like entertainment, music, just, and then the second one is just totally different. It's like mysteries, unsolved crime.
Oh, I do follow both of them. Never mind.
Yeah. I think that's so interesting how you have two. And when I was researching the GRAZY TV, I was like, whoa, like I was not expecting this sort of stuff. Like you go into like theories, like investigative things, like very informative thing. Yeah, it's like I didn't expect that. So was that your idea when you first started out YouTube? Like you were like, I'm going to have two different channels, and they're still you, but they definitely have two different vibes. So like, were you thinking when you started off, like, this is what I want? Or was it kind of like trial and error as you went?
Yeah, I mean, I started my main channel, and then all of a sudden I just wanted to do something other than music and entertainment. And I thought I love mysteries, paranormal, ghosts, aliens. So why not talk about it with no pressure? And I just did, and then it ended up doing well. So I'm able to continue doing it.
Wow.
Bro, we need to bring you back because I'm into that shit too.
You are?
Yeah. I've been playing like scary games and, well, that's what I do. I play scary games and like watch horror films like on Twitch or whatever. So I'd be into that.
Yeah.
People don't know about that really,
Nice.
I guess. Now you know.
How do you plan out the content between the two channels?
I love to talk about whatever crime stories. If there's, like a viral news on the internet that's, like the Nth Room, I've covered it. That's interesting. Anything mysterious. I mean, there's like millions of topics to do with that channel, so that's good. I honestly think it's harder for my main channel with music because there's so much that you could talk about when it comes to K-pop and behind the scenes.
Yeah. Maybe there's a collab somewhere in the future between y'all two for like scary
Oh shit. I've been
paranormal
waiting.
things.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for something to happen to him so we could talk about it.
Nah, fuck. Well, listen, I'm curious, but I don't want anything happening to me. but I feel like if something were to happen to me, I'd be like, okay, that happened. Whatever.
Can you give us your like scariest paranormal experience you've had?
Sheesh.
I personally don't have like negative scary energies around me or ever happened, but the really big thing that happened was, especially when I was younger, I would have sleep paralysis almost every day, and I never knew why. And then sleep paralysis every day, that it got me so scared to sleep at night. But anyway, there was this one time when I was like 6 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night to go sleep with my dad because it was so hot in my room, and I peeked out and there was a lady sitting down, and it wasn't my mom, obviously. But then I think looking back now, she just had a very positive, beautiful energy. Who knows? Maybe that was me from the future coming to see me. I don't know. Ooh. And then I would always hear voices until middle school.
That weird kid in high school or middle school. Nice. Oh, that's great. She hears voices.
Yeah,
now.
right?
Yeah. Not anymore. It stops when you're like, the teenage age.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, that's so interesting. You said like positive energies. I'm like, positive energy. Like, I always just think of like ghosts as negative things.
It could be positive, yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if there's a devil, there's an angel. So like, there's obviously positivity.
I don't know. I always say this to everybody that brings up sleep paralysis, and hopefully this doesn't jinx me, or I went through. I don't know. I've never been through sleep paralysis.
Really?
I feel like maybe I have, maybe when I was sick, but I just didn't. I just accepted it. Like, if there's something happening, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back to sleep. Like that kind of. Like, I don't know if I'm just accepting. I'm like, let me just go. Right. I'm like, I don't know. I have never experienced it. Everybody around me has experienced it. My family. I was like, all right. I'm not wishing it for it to happen, but if it. I just don't remember it. I'm like, all right.
I don't want it to happen either.
Obviously. What is the best way to venture into new territories that are not your usual voice or brand? Kind of like how you did it with your second channel, I think. Mm-hmm. Like, what is your best tips?
I think like for the second channel with the crime, it's something I was genuinely interested in. So that's just how I branched out. If I'm genuinely interested in beauty, whatever, I think just doing something that's you is the best.
No, that's true.
Do you market yourself differently for that channel? And how did you market that channel aside from the one that you had originally?
I don't really market it. I just let it happen. Okay. But one day, if like, I would love to be like the voice actor or like the host of like a scary Netflix documentary. Like, I would totally be down for that. I'm not like, like wanting that to grow so fast, so bad. If it happens, great.
Aside from that channel, on your GRAZY GRACE channel, like you said, you talk a lot about music, you talk a lot about your past, and you'll have, your friends who were idols or are still idols come on and be guests. And you also sometimes will expose what, happens behind the scenes that fans wouldn't know otherwise. Have you felt like being, I don't know if you would call it controversial or not, but just exposing things that's, people wouldn't normally know that might be bad about the K-pop industry or music industry in general? Do you feel like that plays better to the success of your channel? And also, do you think that your peers have been appreciative of you putting that out there?
Yeah, I definitely think it helps. I don't think I expose like the really, really dark stuff that, it's more like the surface stuff that everybody knows about, just not everybody talked about, I guess. And soon after that video, just coincidentally, I guess, you had that whole burning sun stuff. So everybody knows now. And I think it's okay for people to know. And disclosure is the way for us to be aware. So I think it's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true. Have your peers been supportive of it?
Yeah, everybody's supportive of it. There's some like comments, but I really don't care about that.
Do you read all of your comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do. I try. I read everything.
Okay.
Oh, word? Everything?
Don't we all read our comments, right?
Yeah, I think we had a topic on this. Like in the first 3 to 4 hours, I started replying to a lot of people, but then after that, I kind of stepped back. But yeah, I guess I go through all the comments here and there. So basically, what I want to know, vlogging versus sitting down. So basically,
whether you enjoy vlogging, like, because some of your videos are sort of like vlogs, and then some of them are like sitting down, like interviews, or like you're talking to the camera.
With the vlogs, I'm not really like a vlogger of my life. I like to vlog, interesting things if I go on shows and things like that. But I mostly like to sit down and talk, I guess.
Okay.
So you're more of a sit down talk. And yeah, same with me. I don't really vlog. I have like a private life, you know what I'm saying? If I'm like out, like let's say KCON, of course I'll vlog. It's an event. I'm here with friends. I'm here to meet new people. Why not? Even then, I feel like sometimes I'd rather remember the memory instead of whip out a camera. Hey guys, that's how I feel.
That's true. I don't want to like. It's annoying to like film every day of your life. I don't know how people. do that.
I respect people that do that. I'm like, hey, every day upload a video. Okay, so everything basically, because it seems like you've done everything vlogging wise or sit down talks, kind of like with your conspiracy theories. And how far in advance are you planning like with your YouTube channel, or do you just go by ear or what your interests are?
I think that's the thing about YouTube and a lot of careers in life. It's never really set. It's always up and down. So you always have to be prepared for other things. But I mean, not to say I am proud of myself, but I kind of am. I just love everything. Doesn't have to be entertainment. I might do, other businesses, whether that's selling things, so I'm interested in just living life.
I find that
Makes
like
sense.
I'm the type of person that like, oh, this sounds good for the week, and then like it doesn't happen, and then oh, this
don't
sounds
do
good
it.
for the week, and it doesn't happen. Yeah, it's kind of bad. I would imagine, like, at least for me, like that mindset that I have, I'm like, oh, like this is not productive at all. But like the fact that you're able to like you execute it, as well, that's a really good thing. Even if it might be like, as you're learning and loving new things in life. I was curious with your interviews that you do, and sometimes they're more like conversations, but some of them are sort of set up like interview conversations, like the things inside the restaurants, you did with one of the members from Brown Eyed Girls, and then one with Soobeanie. Like, was that just based on like, you might have received a sponsorship from that restaurant that you were at, or was it like, do you prefer that formal sit down sort of thing rather than like, where you were with Alexa and or Alex Reed and you guys were just kind of chilling and talking?
I didn't really plan it. It was more like opportunity. With the Alexa, we did have a place we sat down, but then like our camera, the mic didn't really work well, so I had to redo it. And I thought, let's just do it casual. So that worked. If there was an opportunity with restaurants, we could sit down and film. That also helps too. But I think it's good doing both, not always formal and not always too vloggy.
Right. In terms of like new content creation, do you have anything planned for the future that we haven't seen on your channels before?
Well, I do have my music coming up this Sunday, but other than that, I think it honestly goes by how it goes by the month. I had a lot planned, especially going to Korea, but coronavirus really kind of yeah. I can't really go anywhere other than America, so.
Right, except if you want to quarantine for 2 weeks. So this upcoming release that you have on Sunday, how do you plan on promoting that? Because I wonder, there are a lot of people that have YouTube channels and then also release music on their YouTube channels as well. Like, how do you plan on promoting that, or what's a good tip that you would say to someone who kind of has both going on?
Well, to be honest, this wasn't really supposed to be like I honestly wasn't even thinking of pushing it. It was more like, I actually have a big US debut that I really want to do in the future in a couple months. So that was what I was preparing for. But then I realized that my producer friend has passed away who made this music. So I thought in order to, I don't know, just like clicked, and I was like, I want to contact him, let's release it. And then I heard he passed away, so I just filmed the music video. And I thought the song is good, I like it, so let's just release it online. So honestly, I'm not really prepared to have a big, you know, release or anything like that. Yeah. It's just what I love to do.
Wow, that's... Oof, okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry to hear about your friend. But that's awesome that you're able to, you know, release the music that you guys helped or made together this Sunday. Okay, so this will be coming out after your release, so you guys should go listen to it.
The song is called Planet, and I love fantasy and fairies, so it's really inspired by that kind of fantasy world.
Oh shit, it all makes sense now.
Makes sense. There was one video where you were like, I am not a human, and you were dressed up, you were an elf and a fairy, so you called it what?
LV, yeah. So it was like a makeup transformation.
Speaking of makeup, like in beauty, what are your thoughts on like, the get ready with me's that you do, or like the hauls that you sometimes do? Like, what do you feel about, would you call yourself a sometimes beauty YouTuber as well?
Could you go into that field?
I mean, I love beauty. I love beauty products too. I don't think I'm a sole beauty person. I just like doing it, and I hope people can get inspired by it and feel just confident like I do when I have good beauty products and do transformations and things like that. It makes me feel confident, so I want them to feel confident too.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Should you even start a YouTube nowadays? I mean, that's kind of like the reality of it. What would be your answer for that?
I would say if you have something special to give to the world, or rather that's a talent, you have something cool to say, I think you should. It doesn't hurt. You don't make money right away anyway, so why not?
Are there any other platforms that you would like to try to go on to, whether it's Twitch? I know you have a TikTok as well, but any other platforms?
I tried doing Twitch. Well, I never live stream, but I don't think it's really me. Twitch is too hard for me.
It's hard to set up. I'll give you that.
Oh, with the equipment and stuff?
To just get everything right. And then after that, it's easy. But because I've been doing Twitch like hardcore, I'm kind of moving on to Twitch. But I feel like you would have killed it. But it depends, because there's a lot of my friends that are like, I don't know if it's for me. I'm like, hey, it is what it is.
Maybe. I don't know.
Depends. You could tell your stories. It's not just gaming. It's like IRL. Right. So basically, it's like vlogging, talking to everybody, interacting with people. It depends if you want to start YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, I guess, is a way. There's TikTok. I mean, people are blowing up on TikTok like crazy.
You're playing your scary games and stuff like that on Twitch. Maybe you could play a horror game or something. Yeah. Maybe you could voice a game one day too, or write for a game.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Grace could do that too.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love to voice fantasy games and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite fantasy game?
I don't play a lot now, but I used to love Final Fantasy, Sims. I still play Sims. Do you know Age of Empires? RuneScape?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know.
That's the old one. RuneScape.
And that's good to see you express yourself in your way, basically. I was gonna say a weird way, but no, your way, because everybody's weird to me. I think I'm freaking weird, so it's respect. I like to see people that do their own thing.
For people who do plan on starting YouTube, how would you recommend titling your videos that if let's say they're not reactions, they are the types of videos that you're making, Grace? How would you recommend going through that process of making sure that it's not too clickbaity, but it's people will see it and grab at it?
Yeah, that's a struggle for everyone, honestly, because if it's not clickbaity, no one likes to click on it. I think it's just using main keywords is what I do. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's not. Honestly, there's no right or wrong answer, I think. I even struggle with it.
Yeah, I think anybody does, unless you have 20 million subscribers, and then you'll be good forever.
Dre, what do you do for figuring out video titles?
Well, it depends on the video. If it's a reaction, it's pretty simple. But even I'm just throwing shade, but it depends on the clickbait video kind of title. Especially I have something to come off my chest, I have to say something. I was like, this might be my last time on YouTube. Obviously, people are gonna be clicking on it. I don't really have a format. Like literally, I started this thing random. That's what JRE sounds like, just random every day. I plan not to have a schedule. Still don't. And it's worked for me since, I guess. I mean, I've been doing this for a while too, so I'm trying to move on to other things.
I was wondering, how long does it take for you guys to create the thumbnails that you do? Like, do you have a template of like what you want with it? Obviously, you find your face that you think, you know.
What about you, Grace? I don't.
Thumbnails, yeah, if I just grab whatever picture. I mean, I think the most important is having the right app. So I have an app that I paid for. It's really good for creating professional thumbnails.
Oh, what? What is this app?
I have to make it, but there's like really good fonts.
Oh snap! I need this.
It's called PixArt.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh,
all right,
okay.
I do know of that.
I think I asked this the last interview, and I want to know what you think, Grace. But do you ever go back to your YouTube like library, let's say, and look at videos from like, let's say, a year ago, and be like, I don't really like that this is still up. Not that like the content's bad, but it's more of like, this doesn't fit the aesthetic that I want to like have on, you know, my YouTube, or like you would on Instagram almost. Do you ever think about your YouTube in that way, or is it more of like, let me just keep the content up there if it's good?
It's good. No, I never took anything down except one video when I first started. So, yeah. I don't really look at the aesthetics of the whole channel. It's just how it goes.
Okay, and this is for same thing for both channels?
Yeah,
okay.
For both. Okay.
One question before everybody goes. What is your ultimate goal in life?
My goals always seems to change, but I think the main thing, like a real main thing, is I want to leave like a piece of creative art, whether that's music, a product, whatever it might be, arts, and I want a lot of people to be inspired by it and know that I at least left a footprint on this earth is my goal.
Exactly what I say.
For me, as long, I don't know what I'm gonna do later on, but as long as I say fingerprint, but instead of footprint, I was like, as long as I left a fingerprint before I die, like at least affect this earth somehow.
Nice. I feel you guys have both done that in a way, but you have more to come for sure. All right. Well, thank you, Grace. Cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
For my music and things like that, my main channel, GRAZY GRACE, or on Spotify. Or my Instagram, GEBABYK.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to In My Feels. I'm Emily.
I'm JRE.
I'm GRAZY.
And we'll talk to you guys later. Adios.